Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Welcome to my reading. So this reading is gonna be about, well, we're gonna see what it's about after I pull out these cards. Yeah, so welcome to my channel. Hi to new subscribers, new people watching this. So I think I'm gonna start with my own cards first. Let's see. I haven't shuffled these in a while. So this is gonna basically be the premise of the reading to see what it is that we're gonna be focused on. So I'm gonna grab one from here. It smells like honey. Okay, right now. Okay, so possibly something occurring at this current moment. Okay. All right, something happening at this current moment. I've been feeling liberated from language restrictions, basically things that have been causing me a lot of there's a lot of cards that came out, so I'm just gonna take these. Okay, so grounding is key. Drink some water. Okay, eloquence is beauty. Create and co-create. Okay, so basically drink some water is here. So basically I was getting an energy of thirst and hunger and such. I'm gonna grab Prism Oracle and see how this pertains to drink some water. If you need to drink some water, make sure you drink some. I know that I've been drinking a lot more water recently, ever since I finally got a thing of water. Thank God for that. Let's see. So trust with magic, isolation here, and growth. So this possibly has something to do with fertility. Okay, faith coming through. Okay, so it does have a lot to do with fertility, like I said. This is that reinvigoration cycle that is occurring, a new phase that is occurring. There's been energies trying to there's something about basically subjecting a conversation to one specific memory, or subjecting a conversation to one specific something. Just it's really weird, but yeah, there it is. So there's true fear here. It's possibly fear of God. Okay, yeah, leaving space for wrath. So this is interesting. Hello. So the oracle's coming through now as in possibly fruitfulness, success, and the horizon. There is fear here, fear of God for sure. So this is like fruitfulness. Thank you. I just took a shower. That's what yeah, love. See, I can't. No cap. And cleansing, what I say. So this is how you know this is real. Okay, this ain't no motherfucking magic. Alright, magic is isolated here when it comes to fertility. So yeah, eloquence is beauty. That's what's coming through. So yeah, there's been a lot of grounding when it comes to eloquence at this time. Kundalini rising energy. This is the new cycle that's occurring. Trust, faith, and growth. This has to do with but it's not like priesthood, is it? It's more so like cleanliness, being closer to God, stuff like that. It has a lot to do with fertility. That's what I can say for sure. Abundance and fertility. Prosperity. That's what it is. So this is something that's being co-created right now. Okay? This is something that's being currently manifested. So something that's going to be brought into reality pretty soon. Okay? Let's see how this pertains to the energies that we've been feeling recently as a collective. So, yeah, universal love. So if you've been feeling like a newness when it comes to accepting love, or newness when it comes to just like a different way to accept love, basically some sort of just change when it comes to accepting like reality, accepting change itself, right? Conception. So this is about like reinvigoration. So what does this have to do with the collective soul purpose? Okay, so this is so individually we're gonna see first how it pertains to those who trust in faith in the growth of the of their prosperity within collective consciousness. That is Christ consciousness, right? 5D energy, honesty. So humility as well, resonating with frequency of honesty, innocence, and blamelessness. There's an energy here, right, where possibly this also has to do with liberation, right, with fear, space, magic, and isolation, humor. Yeah, denial in reverse, and imagination. Okay, yeah, of course. Thank God for the Holy Spirit. You know, something that's very important to remember is that we do not have authority or right to imagine God. That's something that is incredibly important. Like, we don't have that kind of like ability to begin with. We will not be having that kind of ability, and so that's also why thou shalt not worship, thou shalt not commit idolatry, or thou shalt not commit idolatry, right? Not adultery. Well, thou shalt not commit adultery too, I guess. Thou shalt not commit idolatry. Thou shalt not commit adultery. Thou shalt not commit idolatry. Thou shalt not commit adultery. However it goes, you know, I'm remembering both of them. But there's definitely acceptance of imagination here. This has to do with fruitfulness, peace at the bottom of the deck, with indecision. So that's what it is over here. So when it comes to, that just has to do with surety, intuitive ability. Okay, so be aware of people asking questions that may be like a monkey wrench, right? If you know that they are not going to be asking themselves the same questions, then don't bother being the one to ask yourself that question. Freedom. That's for sure. So someone may be trying to ask you a question to like siphon the answer, basically trying to take the answer to develop within themselves, but it's not a question they're asking themselves. So make sure that that person is asking themselves that question before you think to answer it. That's important. Okay? And something that's there. Yeah, discipline. That has a lot to do with discipline. Okay? Yeah, and forgiveness is coming through here, but I don't know why it's coming out in reverse. I almost said like regret. Yeah. So possibly, yeah. So there's definitely energy of judgment here. That's fear of God. That's fear of God. That's fear of God. I can't talk about that honestly. It is what it is. Like, for example, I know for a fact that as much as I love God, I still fear God. You know what I mean? No matter how much I love God, I will always fear God at the same time. It's strange. It's a sense of duality I have as well. Patience here is required when it comes to heeding warnings, okay? Whenever there's some sort of warning, or whenever you feel some sort of alarm or warning, make sure to stabilize what it is that you're paying attention to, so what your focus truly is on. So there's happiness here. So make sure not to be blinded by what's to come, right? When it comes to success and fruitfulness. Okay, collective? Yeah, perseverance here is so that you're able to acknowledge wisdom within self, so that you may then prosper within conception through universal love. So this definitely has to do with God. It definitely has to do with, it definitely has to do with God. And I'm seeing it through 44 there. Universal love coming through here, 44, and conception. This has to do with, like I said, it's coming through again like pillar, like priesthood, but it's also the energy of standard, strength, success at the bottom of the deck with adversity. Yeah, this has to do with strengthening. I also saw something about hardening. Just be aware of fears other than the fear of God. Okay, humor here. I can't make this up at all. It's really there's a lot of, it's like, have you ever if you've ever taught like a kid how to swim, or been like, I remember being so tiny, being a little girl, and my father basically teaching me how to swim at the Sheraton pool. I remember this so clearly, right? People think that I can't, like, there are a lot of individuals who think that that they can tamper with my memories, but I remember this so clearly. And I remember him putting me in the pool, right? And I was trying to not be afraid. I was trying to be like strong. I'm like, no, I'm not going to be afraid. I was like really brave. It's bravery coming through here. And and he would be just like, come on, like, you can swim through this. Look at this. That's coming through now. There's definitely an energy of like not resonating. There's definitely people that are not resonating on that frequency of love. Okay, we've already entered the 5D. When we talk about collective consciousness, we're talking about Christ consciousness as well. So the only way is up from like with Christ, right? Rising with Christ, rising with love. Perseverance, that's what it truly also means as well within my energy, Neath energy as well. Acceptance, see, these are also things that have to do with successions, individuality. Yeah, this is what it is that was occurring in fear, envy, and pride. So these were the adversaries to success. These were the adversaries. And we already knew that these were adversaries, but it's reached a point of its own climax. It's reached its peak already. So now it's about to be dismantled, basically. I'm gonna see what this specifically connects to in the energy. Let me turn this mother energy upright. Let's see. What is that specifically connected to? When it comes to honesty and discipline, God first. When it comes to honesty and discipline, angelic guidance, okay? That's really what it is. Angels coming through here. No cap. Angelic guidance. This is all with faith and growth and trust, with co-creation, eloquence and beauty. So it's like being supported, right? Health. That's coming through for the benefit and privileges of our higher selves. Universal love and conception coming through here. Lessons and blessings. So activation of our activation. What does the activation mostly have to do with as well? Farm coming through here. That's interesting. Or, well, I wouldn't say is it really interesting? Holy Spirit, authority figure, see? Is it? Yeah, seems to be interesting for sure. Wow. Well, that's a reality check. Pride and envy there. Pride and envy there has to do with, I can't make this shit up at all. Look, didn't I just say what I was going through with my father, learning how to swim, right? And then like basically, look at this karmic relationship right there. And then that's pride and envy. And the reality of the situation is, yeah, I said my, no, not mine. The karmic was there, right? The karmic person was there watching this happen. And that's just how they felt, you know? Whereas, yeah, I can't make this shit up at all. You see? Mother energy. I literally could not make this up. It's clear. It's so clear. And something that was coming through as well was saying like basically something around the terms of like the days are brutal, basically. But it also has to do with labor. It has to do with work, which is why that like worry and indecision is there, with that isolation of that magic in that fear, right? So look at the forgiveness coming through again, upright. So it has to do with begging, right? Fear of God, but begging energy, begging. But then with that pride and envy there, it's like asking for relief. Native American at the bottom of the deck, phobias. See? It's something about American soil. Seafood and hunger for what it is that had been caused. Maybe this is like guilt, right? But it's like it's the energy of yeah. It's definitely prophetic, that's for sure. I'm gonna see what it has to do with intuition, intuitive stuff here. There's forgiveness here. I actually resonate really highly with a lot of good memories that I had, or at least, you know, memories that I saw as very fruitful for me with my father, a lot more with my father. Even my ancestors and those that like understand the bond of a father and a daughter, it's like an unbreakable, unshakable bond that a father has to his daughter. So what was happening when I was watching that other live? There was a live that I was watching recently, and there was someone coming through with that karmic energy, that karmic marital energy, in that imprisonment. And I mentioned this in my last video, in my last reading, where I talked about purgatory and letting that go. Medicine man or woman. That's really the truth. The gift that I receive has a lot to do with medicinal health, right? Which is something I received from both my parents and in the bloodline. So it's not just unique to a one individual, but it's like the karmic relationship doesn't have to do with what it is that I do. The karmic relationship would have to do with that pride and envy, right? Yeah. So one way, right, and I would never put this on myself, God forbid, right? Food and hunger, that's why this energy was there, right? But since this is something that also pertains to not just the lessons and blessings that I learned with that farm energy, right? That also has to do with what it is that I'm building, right? But I'm not the only one building this. This is something, so collective, you might be interested or not interested. Well, clearly there's interest there. You might be being called to focus a lot on your health, right? Focus a lot on accepting like ways to build more wealth in your legacy, generational wealth and such, right? A lot of people in the collective are being called to do that. That's because that's healthy for us, right? With angels and health coming through there, with discipline and honesty, it's something that we're all working towards. Owning our own place, you know what I mean? Having our own land, our own structure, you know what I mean? Having our own fruits of our labor, stuff like that. It's natural. Without pride and envy and karmic relationship, it's like basically someone feeling as if like, well, it doesn't really matter at that point. It's what I'm saying here is that in this kind of situation, it's like it's like working towards the same goal, right? It's not a race, it's barely even a marathon, like, and yeah, so it's kind of that situation where it's like someone chasing after themselves, someone chasing their tail. Pride and envy there, someone chasing their own tail. But really in fear of uh, of their own labor, of their own fruits, right? That's also something that I had been feeling before, personally, for me, where I felt as if maybe I had been going through, I felt as if maybe I had been doing too much, like maybe I shouldn't have done so much, because how else am I supposed to complete it? But then I realized, well, I'm not alone, right? So I know that there are plenty of people out here that are looking for jobs, right? All I gotta do is make sure I'm asserting myself so that I'm able to provide those jobs for others, right? So that karmic energy chasing their own tail, attempting to mimic and copy what it is that already exists here, even though it's like it's already existent so that they can utilize it, but they're not understanding that, which is why it's so karmic. So they're like continuously doing whatever it is that they're doing, and then everything else is happening like away from them, and it makes it seem as if it's really funny. Atlantis energy, it's really funny. It makes it really seem as if the world was like it's seemingly revolving around them, but what they don't understand, that karmic, is that the world's gonna move on whether or not they're there. That's really what it is. Authority figures, right? Wisdom, it's really like that, like someone seeing everything happening around them, like a tornado being in the eye of a storm. However, in this case, the storm is actually a pleasant gust of wind, like, and it's like everyone having a good time in the sunshine, and everyone having a good time taking care of themselves, and the only person that thinks that it's a storm is that karmic, because they're not understanding that they're literally the ones that are that person is that, or that karmic is definitely that energy of the actual storm that they're going through, so they're chasing their own tail, right? There's that food and hunger one more time, right? So whereas there's this, I mentioned this in my previous reading, where it comes to negligence, right? Yeah, it's negligence of personal authority. Negligence of personal authority. That's different. Y'all give me a second. Like I mentioned, it's definitely someone afraid of, what do you call it? There's fear of God for sure, right? There for sure. But then it also pertains to this forgiveness that's here already. However, the forgiveness over there is in reverse, where it goes like, it's giving very much disoriented, distracted energy. It feels like drowning. I wouldn't say it's like drowning, possibly drowning. Maybe that's what had happened before, right? So if I just do this real quick, that crack, confirmation. Then what happens now? Yeah, there it is. Once again, like starting anew. Definitely my energy. Yeah, trust and faith, there it is. More of my energy, and more of my energy. So yeah. Let's get into it. Grounding is key. Create and co-create right now, right? The collective is looking forward to a lot more productiveness in their life when it comes to their fruits of their labor, accepting their success as it comes, allowing that if there is some sense of overwhelm, that it will be overcome, okay? And that if there's any energy of underwhelming, that it would also be overcome. So it's really something about, like I said, balance. One more card for activation because of the Kundalini energy as well. Oh, please, thank you. Heart chakra. So that's what it is. Authority, once again, it's coming through. So it's definitely saying that it's been written, right? So whatever it is that, because the Lord had also mentioned that the new covenant that he is declaring is going to be written in the hearts of those that he chose, right? So and it's also going to be embedded in the minds of those that he chose, right? Divine masculine, you see? And that's what's occurring at this current moment, is within this ascension process. It's like these codes are being activated within us, the things that he had promised to instill within his chosen. Now they're being activated with this delight. Yeah. So absolute faith and trust in God. That's wondrous. Yeah, thank God. Yeah, quite literally solar plexus coming through here. Solar plexus coming through. And so it's soulful energy coming through here. That's why that fear of God is coming through. Because of that. Okay, so this is mostly coming out because, like, I say, like, it's definitely karmic because, like, I fear God enough to know that I shouldn't be near that karmic. Like, I fear God enough to know that I shouldn't be near pride nor envy. Like, I fear God enough to know that I'm not going to put myself in a situation to where I'm going to feel any sorts of ways about what they're going through or what it is that they have in their life or what it is that they're doing with their reality. It has nothing to do with me. Like, I fear God enough to stay the fuck away from it. That's really the truth. Integration, right? Root chakra. And that's where the root comes in, right? When it comes to Kundalini awakening, something is also about the root chakra is where we also cleanse our fears, right? This is also about childhoods and stuff. And that's why I mentioned where I find so much goodness. And I remember that, you know what I mean? Sometimes we don't want to see these things, but it's not like there weren't things that I enjoyed with, you know, some people who I found karmic. It doesn't mean that at all. It doesn't mean that there aren't good memories there. It means that sometimes it's best to let go of things that even that we think that are good, because we truly know that God is good always. God is truly good. So it's like, when it comes to those karmics, that sometimes we'll think that something is good, but unless we know, you know, unless we know what it is that we know, we won't be able to justify what it is that we feel, truly. So knowing what I know, honestly, that could be absolutely nothing, right? It could be absolutely nothing. I fear God enough to know that I'm not going to test or try whatever it is that is, right? Divine masculine here, once again, empowerment, right? This allows me to also empower not just myself, but my divine masculine as well. It allows me to know that my kingdom spouse out there, right, that the Lord trusted me. Yeah, I'm gonna cry. That I know that you know, I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing, that it brings so much joy to be. I'm like going through it right now because, yeah, healing, like I'm saying, it's like cleansing those fears once again. And like, that's why humor was coming out so many times when it goes back to like that like story with my father. It's like a lot of kids, right, they'd be like, you know, scared to drown and stuff, and then like, you know, and then some other kids would be like brave, and they be trying not to drown, but you know, they're still learning. And that's like my energy as well. It's like, that's what I resonate with. Not everybody resonates on that frequency. Some people don't go through those same experiences but can relate, right? This is where I find oneness and you know, and I find strength within the Holy Spirit. Amen. With delight here, once again, root chakra. This is how it cleanses out. So now it goes into the cosmic flower, which is mostly also within feminine energy. Activates our remembrance of the place we call home, the core from which we pour our magnificence into the world. So this is where it's like, that's where this is being brought to the forefront. So in the world energy, that would be 3D frequency, whereas collective consciousness is already 5D energy. So in 3D, that's what's occurring, right? But for us, right, in the collective consciousness, Christ consciousness energy, which doesn't at all completely separate us. That's the whole thing about us leaving, right? That's the whole thing about it, is that we are disconnecting from what it is that we knew previously as the world, which was all that energy. Previously on previously on the beginning of the golden age of the world, basically, it's kind of giving that energy of programs and just like the things that, yeah, it's really giving that energy. So it's like previously in the world, right, there are these karmics that are most definitely envious, prideful, fear of the same torture they put onto others, due to what it is that they were going through, the tests and the trials that they were going through, and the things that they couldn't overcome. Soul time, yeah. But now it's like, when it comes to our soul ascension, with solar plexus that came out, yeah, denial in reverse, it's like health. It's like they weren't denied their health. That was a choice that they had to make for themselves if they had to bring it into balance. That was a choice that they had for themselves. The same way that I currently am being brought with the choice if I'm to go to the gas station, get another pack of cigs, right, ciggies, or if I would go to another store and possibly get, onions, basically something like that. And it's like being presented with that choice. It's up to me to decide whether or not I'm accepting of this success. It's right here for me, right? So seek purpose. And that's where there's a deeper purpose within all these little interactions that we have, not just with ourselves, but with other people, but with God, but with the environment around us. These little domino effects or butterfly effects that matter in the long run, right? Which is why understanding one's own importance within purpose, right, which is destiny and reality, right, outside of fate, right? Because as within, so without. So destiny is as within, so without. But when it comes to fate, fated events and all those things have also been prophesized because they have a lot to do with other people. That's how fate works, right? And what would you call it? Understanding the discernment required when it comes to acquiring that kind of wisdom, right? Especially within Kundalini awakenings and such. It takes time, effort, study, right? Things that when in karmic relationships don't have time for, don't have the energy for. But outside of these karmic relationships, within oneness, within mindfulness, there's a clear understanding, clear solution that is always provided for by God. So although not everybody is meant to be doing, like for example, not everybody is meant to read oracles, right? Not everybody is meant to be doing this stuff, right? It's not just about divination. It's not about scrying. It's not just about anything like that. In reality is that we have gifts and things that we do and utilize, right? So for example, the previous reader that I was watching, I wouldn't say impressed, I would say amazed, right? I'm amazed by how God is working through her, because she mentioned so many career choices that she had done, and I was like, wow, like such a hardworking woman. I was like, I was like so excited to like continue doing what I'm doing, because it's not just so different and unique to me, but seeing that there are other people who are different, and that they're not just doing what everybody else is doing and going amongst the same path, that they have their own life that they lived, and we do have similar stories that we can relate to, but it doesn't make us the same person, right? And that allows me to feel so much more secure with who I am as a person, which makes it so much more fun for not just let's say, them or her to watch my videos or readings, but it also makes it fun for other people who are different from all these different parts of the world as well, just like how she mentioned. And it makes it so exciting. It reminds me of like when I was really blowing up. There was a time I was really popping off and people were really watching my stuff, right? And there were so many different types of people, and it always goes on like that. Like it's like a very, it's fluctuating, and I feel like it's the fluctuations of our. Yeah, give me a second. Let me write this down real quick. Your pen go. Wait, I'll just write it on here. Oh, I'll just write it on here. It's the fluctuations. Yeah, the fluctuations of our. Oh, why did I do that twice? Fluctuations of our adaptable flexibility, right? It's about that as well. Ooh, and like what I mean by that specifically for me, it's like, it's like a, it's like, however way that we choose to row our boat, right? However way that we choose to row our boat, there's always a direction that it's going in, right? Regardless of us acknowledging where or how it's moving, it's always going in a certain direction. However we move, it's going to be in a direction, right? So it's like understanding our own integrity within that permissible energy, very much allowance, right? The flow of wisdom, knowledge. Wisdom, integrity, and knowing, not knowledge, knowing. Okay, of knowing. So I'm gonna look through intuitively real quick how this comes through. I'm still learning to use these cards, yo. I have not used these ones that much. I have new cards I have not used, and well, I've used most of them, but I've utilized most of them, but these ones are so like, oracles are different for me because they're real deep. They're much deeper. And so, especially since I'm starting to look at it. So when it comes to this here, this is really curious. That's curious. With honesty, discipline, balance, and health, there's independence. Look at this card. There's independence, right? I am aware of my inner dialogue and I direct it by positive imagery. You see, it's that visualization. It's the interpretive abilities and skills that we all contain within ourselves to journey through life, basically. And then when it comes to the activations and such, what lessons and blessings and farm there, it also has to do with requirements, sustainable requirements in our reality. I'm gonna shuffle this again because I feel like there's so much more when it comes to these lessons and blessings, especially with farm coming out there with universal love and conception. It has a lot to do with harvesting, right? Yeah, the reputable and the manifester. Yeah, I live my life as if my guardian angels are watching over me. I can't make this up. The reputable. Look at that right there. That's gorgeous. And so it's like, yeah. So it really is about like pertaining to the understanding of like harvesting, but not in a not in a, there's, like I said, this high vibrational with heart chakra here, another 4, right? High vibrational energy, 5th dimensional energy as well. So it's like love frequency, aka God is love, high vibrational frequency, 5D frequency, Christ consciousness energy, going up to crown energy. It's about like harvest when it comes to what we've sown. So people often say whatever we put out is what we get, right? That was also in the last reading. That's what it is. It's like harvesting what we've sown through the universal truth that is our co-creative abilities, our co-creation with God. We've already co-created these things. Now it's about accepting them, right? The confident here, really. I honor all I have done to make me who I am today. You see? Yeah. Honor. Oh, man, there's so much wisdom that I'm still learning about honor. So much. Like most recently too, I was thinking a lot about modesty and how much the perception of modesty has changed over time, but still how important these little things are when it comes to modesty, like a ring on a finger, or wearing a covering on the head, right? Or wearing waist beads and such like that, right? The importance of that and the meaning of those kinds of things. Yeah, I have to look up the word again. Okay, so then it's like the word that's coming through is admonish, right? Which is also about encouraging. So there's duality to it, right? This is where things become really clear, right? There's a duality to it. So there's the heeding, warning, right? Urge and encouragement to it, and then there's the debt to it, of like a warning, a reminder of a debt, right? So this is like it's giving Attack on Titan energy, which we all know what those Titans were, and that's basically what it is that's coming through as well. There's a lot of history within my bloodline, a lot of history within my bloodline, things that I feel uneasy communicating about to the public due to how much people have heard about, you know, like in Hamilton, like I've heard about whispers type shit, like I know about whispers, like, you know what I mean, rumors and all that stuff, and it becomes really complicated for me to express what it is that you know, I was, you know what I mean, just the little side quest that I was put here to clear up, especially with that karmic relationship with pride and envy. People really don't understand how significant or insignificant, actually, how insignificant that energy is. It's so insignificant to the point of it's like, you know, like a dead meme, or like a stuff like that, like in that energy, to that capacity of like being embedded within a memory. However, it also like, I recently watched a video talking about STDs, and it talked about how like myths that about STDs, and I didn't think that people actually like 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 fully trusted those things. Like people were fully asking. I mean, I'm not judging, but like people were fully in that, where they thought that if they had one STD, it wouldn't stop them from having the other. And I was like, that's not how that works, right? But in this kind of case and scenario, it's kind of like that energy where someone thought that if, you know what I mean, someone thought that that like the pride would overcome the envy, or the envy would overcome the pride, or there wouldn't be like as if like it's really like that energy. So here it is again, loner, the loner vibes, right? That's basically what that lonesome energy was. And really it's about like that unresonating, like not resonating, but like even in stillness there's vibration. Even in stillness there's vibration. Even in stillness there's frequency, there's light, there's love, there's God is good always, right? God first. So it's like whatever it is that is happening there when it comes to their lonesome energy, I can't make this up. See, the angel and the initiator. I have faith in my ability to help myself and others. I overcome resistance and do what must be done now. Okay, so let's see how this is, because this is my energy right here as well. It's like I said, I'm definitely fearing God on this one. Like I'm definitely fearing God on this one, where it's like I'm not going to play around with whatever that is. Right? It keeps coming out. Like if they need to be isolated and need to be alone because of whatever magic it is that's there, if that energy needs to be isolated, needs to be alone, or it requires it to be alone and be left alone, I'm not gonna touch it, right? God forbid. So let's see how this has to do with grounding right now and co-creating at this current moment. The collective, or the collective, or the collective. Yeah, Nine of Cups, Nine of Pentacles. So in the previous reading that I saw with Asirius, it was, so here, Asirius, tongue piercing. 999, right? So Nine of Pentacles, Nine of Cups coming through here, right? And this has to do with accomplishments, accolades, things that maybe weren't being seen, or people weren't embracing, right? This was, so 10 of Wands, right? This is because they were embraced by God. So it's not like I would require it to be embraced by anything else or anyone else, right? Empress, see? It's not like anyone. So for the collective, it's not like anybody else or anyone else needs to acknowledge your accolades. Obviously, God, you and God were the ones that manifested those accolades for yourself. First of all, before someone could call themselves a teacher, someone would have to invent what a teacher is, right? That's a manifested something, right? That was co-created. And then once that was co-created, then they have to decide all the integers and all the details as to what that means. And then afterwards, then there's an assembly of it. And then there's the adaptation, evolution, the growth of it. And then other people start utilizing it. And then there's the abundance, prosperity. There's the fruits. You know how many generations of people it took before teachers started becoming a real thing, right? People don't recognize those kinds of efforts. Those were all embraced by God. Who else but God? See? And that's what's going on here, where it's like that's it. Cycle complete when it comes to that energy, with Archangel Michael coming through here. Ooh, King of Swords coming through with the Queen of Swords and the Hangman. So this is like the reality of the situation is that, like, yeah, there's an obvious separation occurring, from what was in that past karmic energy, right? An obvious separation from that past karmic energy, and into enlightenment of prosperity through what it is that has been acknowledged, what has been embraced, right? There's an energy here of overcoming, but still feeling very much weary. Those are the warnings and such. So the energy of it is that, I've seen stories, I can't personally relate to this, but I've seen stories that have kept me very hopeful, where it's like, and I know I shouldn't, not that I shouldn't, but I feel like I saw it for a reason. I see how my shoulders are like this and stuff like that. It's because like I'm not trying to have this like fall down, right? But this is an example. This is what I mean. So usually I'd be sitting like this, right? Usually I'd be sitting like this, but because like I don't want like my strap to fall down, because like I'm online and stuff like that, because every time something happens, right, my strap falls down, somebody will say like, oh, like they'll just start projecting onto me. So it's like this wariness of projections, but it's also acceptance of awareness and consciousness. That's really what it is. So what is this here? Yeah, cycle completed that. See? And this is where the healing truly circles back, where it's like now it's about acknowledgement of faith, acknowledgement of wisdom, acknowledgement of what it is that, yeah, these burdens are being released. That's really what's going on. They're being taken away like a thief in the night. Yeah, like a thief in the night. Mm-hmm. So the burdens are being taken away, and what's left is what's been invested into, much like eating, right? Or even like right now doing this reading, like if you were to look over here, you would see like my cards and everything laid out, right? Same thing with eating or cooking or doing anything at all, any kind of activity, right? Hi. Any activity that is done, there's a cleanup that has to happen afterwards, right? Because then it's like clear what you've invested in. But after everything cleans up, it's like a new slate, right? It's like the story doesn't have to begin the same way again, right? It doesn't have to start all over again. The cycle doesn't have to repeat itself because the food had already been ate type stuff, right? The table was already clear. The dishes done been washed, so you don't have to stress about washing those dishes anymore, right? So I've seen stories where people would get into relationships, right? And they're not used to their partner being loving, kind, sharing, healing, right? So like I've seen this shit, right? And I'm not the type of girl to like look at like, if when I'm dating someone, I'm not the type to look at like the guy that I'm dating. I'm not the type to look at their phone, right? Same thing in this type of situation where it's like where I didn't even know that people were really going through this until I found out like I was being really cheated on. Like they were out here really playing games with me because I wasn't like because I didn't care to look at their phone, right? They thought I was gonna get hurt by it, but then they ended up hurting themselves even more because now they're like, it's like that karmic energy, right? But once that situation has gotten out of, I've seen people who have been really broken down due to what had happened to them in the past, and people really putting in an effort to cause harm to those people to the point where the next person is like being all kind to them and being like, hey, it's okay, like you can look through my phone and stuff like that, and them being like, oh really, like it's fine, like stuff like that. But I cannot come to trust even that. I'm gonna let people know right now. I said I'm not going to look at your phone. Like you cannot start to come here and try and make me look at your phone to make me think that I'm going to trust you that way. That's not going to work. In fact, now I'm going to be starting to think twice. Like that's how it works for me, right? People don't understand like the precaution of someone that is heeding their soul purpose, that is aware of their soul truth, right? So it's like getting out of that like mental energy where it's like constantly putting oneself in a position of reluctancy. That's really what it is, right? So as soon as that table is clear, as soon as everything is cleared out, all that's left is now that feeling of like, well, has this been enough? Like, do I water this plant some more? Do I look into what it is that I could wait for? What's going to happen to the soil, right? There's a lot of stuff, but now is the time to rest. That's really the reality of the situation. People don't understand when God, a lot of people, right, especially chosen ones, when they're just stepping into their power, they don't even realize up until later that God is giving them rest time, like rest energy, restitution. Like God is giving so much grace and mercy to his children, and they won't be seeing it because they're so used to working. They're so used to putting in all that labor, all that hard work, cleaning up after themselves too, and then making sure everything is good afterwards, and then looking after the family too. But what's written, what's true, what's been known is that there's no rest for the wicked. And when God gives you that time to rest, you better take your time and rest. You better take your time, because when that conflict starts coming in, you can't be doubling down on it in that poverty, because there's a lot of nurturing that needs to be done. Not needs to be done, but there's a lot of nurturing that has to be done already when it comes to life purpose and taking care of your fruits and stuff like that. So that's why there's that fear of God in that energy over there, when I was mentioning at the beginning of the reading, with that karmic energy, where that karmic is trying to cover everything up with envy and pride and denial or whatever the fuck, but really they're afraid of their own fruits, right? They're afraid of their own fruits doing whatever it is that it's doing. I'm not even judging. I'm leaving it where it's at, because the reality is that I can see the fear of God there. I'm moving on, because I'm like, Toshebi, fear God. Me too. Let's move on type stuff. I don't know anything else but that over there, right? That's the only thing that I'm seeing. So this King of Pentacles here, and it's been coming out like this, right? And I've already been put this card upright multiple times, but it's still coming out like this. And it's about that separation. It's about like a transition. Okay, that's what it's really about. Okay, so what is this connecting to when it comes to the collective consciousness? Holy Spirit, Heavenly Father, what is this connecting to? Because whatever it is, it can't be here this long. It cannot. Yeah. High priest, high priestess. Didn't I say this? I said it's not something like a high priest. I saw it already. I saw that it couldn't be a high priest here on earth. Yeah, it could be in heaven, but not here on earth. I already saw this today. I already read about it today. So see, here it is. Okay. Talk, Father. Talk. So really, it's like, it's giving my Father's energy. But if it's in heaven that way, but maybe medical professional, maybe that's what it is. Yeah, wars and battles. That's the energy that's resonating right now. That's what it is here on earth with this Father energy, because I know my Father, but that's really what it is here. This is the energy when it comes to that karmic. It's it's about elevation. It's about elevation, trials, tribulations. So like me clearing out the karma from my father's bloodline as well, from my ancestral bloodline, making sure that that's clear when it comes to these trials and tribulation. It might really just be spiritual gifts that aren't yet understood by others, right? So there are some people that see ghosts, see spirits, right? There are some people who see all sorts of stuff, right? But then there are others who are just schizophrenic, right? And then there are those who can see shit for real, right? And then there's like people who like hear voices, right? And it's like real dark, right? And they're crazy, actually. Well, I wouldn't say they're crazy, but they're going through it, right? And then there are those who like hear voices, but then it's like different, right? It's real different. It's just not the same. There's the medical side of it, and then there's the spiritual side of it, and there's the psychological awareness of it all, right? Because it all pertains to how it's been processed within the psyche. Really, it's all spiritual, all for a reason, right? But yeah, a lot of it has to do with like warnings as well. I feel like my spiritual gifts especially have a lot to do with warnings and reminders, because but a lot of these things are tests, a lot of these things are trials, because as soon as these things are passed, like as long as like one of the biggest trials and tests, especially here, is not panicking. That's like one of the most important ones. I know this in my bones. I know this, not to panic. At least I'm aware of it as much as I could be. And that's really the truth about it. But yeah, see, with this King of Cups energy coming through here, and the Tower in reverse. It has to do with emotional sincerity, security. It has to do with its abundance, spiritual gifts for sure. For sure. Passed down gifts. Maybe things that, things that maybe weren't handled in the past. Collective. Maybe it's things that have to do with adjustments, also like career adjustments, things that just don't resonate the same way they do here as they do in heaven. They just don't, it doesn't match up. Like I saw high priest or priestess, right, in heaven would be different than here on earth completely. Yeah, two of Pentacles here. This is different. Maybe it's because I've been like contacting him for a minute now as well. Maybe it's something like that. I've just been trying to connect deeper with my roots as well, connecting deeper with my like lineage, because I actually want to see my, my late cousins and, you know what I mean, like uncles and aunties and stuff like that. I actually want to, I want to travel and go get my attire, because like I have to walk. And so it's like that karmic relationship is really like bothersome, meddlesome, because it's like there's already food and hunger. There's like someone starving. They're starving. It's like they're starving for denial, and it's like it's not gonna work the way that it's not working, obviously. But there's faith here. Yeah. There's faith here when it comes to like awareness of what partnership is meant to look like, at least for oneself, at least for a purpose, what purpose means. So this is what it is. Faith within purpose, accessibility in wisdom. Yeah, this, the moon in reverse with the Four of Pentacles upright. It's very cut and dry. It's very cut and clear, where it's like whatever kind of tribulations, wars, and battles that were occurring previously, to where there was a masculine energy or masculinity feeling like very much unincorporated. It was all due to build strength and release oneself from away from karmic famine. Yeah, to release oneself away from famine. Thank God. God is good always. Yeah, with Star, it's like healing now, healing achievements, healing careers, healing practicality, healing even realism within itself, like what it means to be philosophically, mentally, spiritually, and ordinately sound. Yeah, a lot of it has to do with validation as well. So now, yeah. So now there's definitely a different perspective being seen as like a form of witnessing, where it's like intellect is something that learned behaviors, see? With temperance energy here, it's once again angelic presences. They're everywhere, angels everywhere. Yeah, lovers energy here. This definitely has to do with like love, just pure love, true love, pure love. And yeah. With happiness, it's like the pain of healing. Do you guys know the pain of healing often? So maybe this is something that's being released from the collective right now. People often say, which is true sometimes, right? The pain of healing can be far more strenuous. This is how it's translating into now. Can be far more strenuous than the pain of getting hurt. It's one thing to get hurt, yeah? And it's another to heal that pain, and then that scar, and then that story, and then that timeline, and then that tradition, and then that culture, and then that lesson. It's a lot. It's God bless. It's one thing for that, and then it's another to actually be of harm, right? And these types of burdens here, when it comes towards destiny, it's more so to do with determination and that direction, and finding integrity within self, to be modest and truthful within humility, disciplining oneself to move forward. Okay, yeah. All right, y'all. I'm pretty sure that's it. Let me grab a card from my Untamed Elemental deck. Okay, and this is specifically going to be, and I'm doing this only because I know that Asirius may be watching. Okay, so I wanted to pull a card just in case, because she's been doing the dang thing. Okay, Food and Hunger came out in reverse. All right, now you know. Okay, it came out real quick in reverse. Let's see. You know what song I'm thinking right now? Can anybody find me somebody to love? Reminds me of the song from Ella Enchanted. This morning I wake up, you barely stand on my feet. Take a look at yourself in the mirror and cry. I think that's the part of the song, I don't know. Or what you doing to me? Oh, I stand on my ears, believe me, and I just can't find no relief. Oh, somebody, can anybody find me somebody to love? I can't. But that's not my favorite part. My favorite part goes, and I've been trying, cause everybody wants to put me down. They say I'm going crazy. Telling me, yeah. And then like guitar solo. And somebody, I gotta put everything back in place, y'all, before I even move on. And somebody know. Can anybody find me somebody to love? Okay, Tom. Ooh. Right. Almost done. Okay. Almost done. I was wondering where it was at. I was like, ah. By the way, this card deck is so like complicated to actually assemble. Like, look at it. It's actually really cool though. Look at it. When I do that, and then I'm like, oh my god, why did I do that? I'm literally just closing everything out, y'all. This is what it sometimes means, literally, to close things out. Sometimes it just means clearing up your space, or there's a lot of ways to close things out. I feel like people don't realize or recognize. I don't know, man. What's with all this just mental ass energy? What's with that? Because I've been. That's what's been keeping me real. That's what's been keeping me real, like, quiet. Because it's like, yeah, Asha Spirit, very ruthless energies, for sure. Your wit is your quirk, collective. All right. Change your perspective. Yeah, I felt that was one of the messages coming through. Change your perspective. Okay, is this a real trigger? Or is this not your trigger? All right, collective? All right, let me repeat that. Is this a real trigger? Or is this not your trigger? Okay? Yeah, I got my cards too. We all learn our own lessons, you know? Let's see. Thank God for karma. 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 One thing I'm really happy about is that I really got most of these card decks myself. If not all of them. I really did get most of these ones myself. I even make my own stuff. Like, I've tried to work with other people before to make their cards, like actual cards and stuff. But they be like, I don't know, some of them be so lame. I'm not even gonna cap. Like, maybe that's what the judgmental energy is about. Like, maybe it is about my artwork and people just like shitting on my artwork. Oh, welcome to the art world type shit. Crystal coming through here. Okay. Crystal. Okay, crystal is earth element, right? Crystal. Yep, that's the earth element. Okay, crystal is an instrument of transcendence, an iconic talisman of the journey inward, forged deeply in the belly of earth. She emerges clear and brilliant, emanating form and balance through her highly ordered expressions of the infinite. Her sacred geometries hold the planetary codes and cosmic blueprints of universal existence. She responds to your intentions to conserve, direct, transmit, and transmute energy. She is a wonderful healing ally. Crystal sends the message that self-healing is underway. You can amplify this progress by visualizing your wholeness and aligning with the curative frequencies freely given by Earth. Self-healing is a powerful choice when its visualization is married with intuitive listening and a commitment to self-kindness. Improvement becomes inevitable. If you choose to work with a physical crystal, trust her purity and light to guide you home to yourself. I love these cards, man. So balanced, okay? Faith in Earth's energies and your ability to heal yourself. Imbalanced. Fear of the body, fear of the earth. Didn't I say? Somebody was really out here, whatever that karmic energy was, they had attempted to utilize magic or something, or utilize their body as a form of magic or something like that. Some weird like that. I don't really understand it. I know that magic has a lot to do with fertility, is what it is that I know about that, if I know anything at all about that. Because I see, I can see miracles. I mean, well, that's not the song. Well, you can see miracles when you believe. You will when you believe. Basically, I don't even use that word, to be honest. It's believe. That's what I use. All right. To bring into balance, okay, work with crystals, walk steadily on the earth. All right. So yeah. I kind of want to do one more, but I'm gonna leave it to the next reading. I think I'm just gonna keep it for one reading. Will I read one for myself when the reading is over? Yeah, I will. Okay. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys like, share, enjoy. Check out my other channel as well. Please support my food channel. I'm trying to grow my food channel. This is not just for food. It's also to share my ethnic meals, my favorite foods, and how to survive and make ethnic food when you're in another country most of the time. Okay? Alright, guys. See ya.